In this video, we're going to look at conditional highlighting in our table. With conditional highlighting, we can change how a cell is highlighted based on certain conditions or rules. Let's go to Pages. And if we look at our events table here, you're going to see that each cell that has an X in it also has a green background. I'm going to go and add an X to the cell here. Select it, type in X, and tab to apply. And watch what happens to that background. It is now green. Let's go and do it again. We're going to look at this cell here, X, and then tab to apply. It is now green. If I go and delete it, I'm going to hit delete. It is no longer green. So it's highlighting the cell based on certain conditions. Let's see how we add conditional highlighting to our table. We're actually going to go back over to page 3. And I have our table here. But if you look, each cell that has an X in it does not have the green background. So I want to go and add that conditional highlighting to these cells. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the cells I want to add conditional highlighting to. So we're just going to go up to the top here, select our first cell, and then I'm going to go to the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I have all of the cells selected that I want to add conditional highlighting to. Now what I do is I go over to Format, and then we go over to Cell. And if we go to the bottom of this pane here, you're going to see conditional highlighting. This is where we go and add our different rules. So let's select it. And the first thing we have to do is we have to go and add a rule. So let's go and add a rule. And from here, I choose what rule I want. Now we have a number of different categories, and within each category, we have a number of different rules. Our first category is numbers. I can add rules based on numbers. If a cell has a number greater than 10, I want it to be a certain color. Or if a cell is negative, I want it to be red. We can also go and add rules based on text. So if a cell contains certain text, we can highlight the cell. We can also go to dates. If a cell has a date that is yesterday, today, or tomorrow, or within the last week, we can highlight it with a certain color. We also have durations. And then we have blank. This is what I used. I have, if a cell is not blank, so we're going to go over to not blank, I want it to have a green fill. That's all we have to do to add a rule. And you're going to see we have a little drop down here, and I have a number of different options for how I want my cell to be highlighted. If we scroll up, we can create our own custom style. And then when we're done, we just click on Done. Now if we want to see our rules, we go back down to the bottom here, and we go Show Highlighting Rules. And then we can see all of our different rules. So let's go and add another rule. We're going to go and add a rule to our footer here. So I'm going to select our first cell in the footer, and then we're going to go to the last cell. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and now I have all of the cells selected in our footer. Now what I would like to do is I would like to highlight all of the days that have over 5 events. So how do we do that? We go up to Add a Rule, and this time we're going to go to Numbers, and I'm going to go greater than or equal to 5. And now I'm going to tap on Done. And now you can see we have any day that has 5 or more events has a green background. I want to change the color. Go back to Show Highlighting Rules. And we go to our drop down. And let's just go with green text. And now you can see they have green text. Let's go and add another rule to this. I want to add another rule that says any day that has under 3 events, I want it to be red. We can add multiple rules. Go back to Add a Rule. Go to Numbers. And I'm going to go less than 3. And we have a red fill here. We're just going to go with red text. And now I tap on Done. We can see that any day that has under 3 events is now red. We can reorder these rules. Let's go back over to Show Highlighting Rules. And if I wanted to reorder them, you're going to see that we have 3 lines here. I just take it and drag it on top of the other rule. I can also go and delete a rule. To delete a rule, go over to the right, click on the trash, and now that rule is deleted. So that's how we add conditional highlighting to our tables in Pages.